A Michigan community was irrevocably altered by an act of violence in a sacred space, sparking a wave of grief, solidarity, and urgent conversations about safety and healing. This essay explores the profound impact of that devastating event, from the immediate shock to the long-term journey of recovery and reflection. A sanctuary shattered, the unthinkable event. A church, by its very definition, is a sanctuary, a place of peace, reflection, and community. It is where people gather to find solace, celebrate life's milestones, and seek spiritual guidance. The very notion of violence erupting within such hallowed walls is profoundly unsettling. A violation of trust and an affront to the values of faith and fellowship. Yet, for one particular community in Michigan, this unthinkable scenario became a harrowing reality, forever etching a day of terror into their collective memory. The initial reports were met with disbelief, then a chilling realization of the gravity of the situation. What began as a routine day for many quickly devolved into chaos, fear, and a desperate scramble for safety. The sounds of worship were replaced by the sounds of sirens, and the comforting presence of fellow congregants gave way to the terrifying unknown. This sudden, brutal intrusion shattered the sense of security that had always been a cornerstone of their gathering place, leaving an indelible mark of trauma. First responders arrived to a scene of profound distress, their training tested by the unique challenges of a crisis in a house of worship. The immediate aftermath was a blur of emergency services, frantic efforts to secure the area, and the heartbreaking task of tending to the injured and comforting those in shock. The sheer audacity of the attack, targeting a place dedicated to peace, sent shockwaves not only through the local area but across the nation, highlighting a vulnerability many had never considered. The ripple effect, grief and trauma. The immediate human cost of the tragic Michigan church shooting was devastating. Lives were tragically cut short, leaving gaping holes in families and communities. Each victim represented a unique story, a beloved individual whose absence would be profoundly felt, their plans and dreams abruptly extinguished. Beyond those who perished, many more sustained physical injuries, some life-altering, requiring extensive medical care and a long, arduous road to recovery. However, the wounds extended far beyond the visible. The emotional and psychological trauma inflicted upon survivors, witnesses, and even those who only heard the news from afar, was immense. The sense of safety, once taken for granted, was irrevocably shattered. Nightmares, anxiety, and a deep-seated fear became unwelcome companions for many, as they grappled with the horrific memories of that day. The sanctuary, once a source of comfort, became a site of enduring pain. For the families of the victims, the grief was an unbearable weight. They faced the unimaginable task of mourning their loved ones under the glare of public attention, grappling with questions that had no easy answers. The entire community was enveloped in a shroud of sorrow, as vigils were held and tears flowed freely, each drop a testament to the depth of their collective loss and the profound impact of the devastating incident at a Michigan house of worship. Community rises, resilience and support. In the face of such unspeakable tragedy, the human spirit often reveals its remarkable capacity for resilience and compassion. Almost immediately, the community rallied, demonstrating an outpouring of support that transcended religious, social, and political divides. Neighbors helped neighbors, strangers offered comfort, and local businesses provided resources, all united by a shared desire to alleviate suffering and begin the long process of healing. Faith leaders from various denominations stepped forward, offering spiritual guidance, counseling, and a safe space for communal mourning. Churches, synagogues, mosques, and other community centers opened their doors, not just for prayer, but as hubs for support services, information, and a place where people could simply gather and be together. This collective response underscored the profound impact of this Michigan tragedy and the deep-seated need for solidarity in times of crisis. Volunteers emerged in droves, offering everything from food and water to practical assistance for affected families. Fundraisers were organized, often spontaneously, to help cover medical expenses, funeral costs, and long-term support for those grappling with the aftermath. This powerful display of unity and mutual aid became a beacon of hope in the darkness, a testament to the strength and interconnectedness of the community in the wake of such a profound shock. Beyond the headlines, seeking understanding and healing. As the immediate shock subsided and the headlines began to fade, the community was left with the daunting task of processing what had happened and embarking on a long journey of healing. Beyond the initial grief, there were myriad questions. Why did this happen? How could such an act of violence occur in a place of peace? These complex inquiries often have no simple answers, contributing to the emotional burden carried by those affected. The long-term psychological impact of the church incident in Michigan cannot be overstated. Many survivors and witnesses required ongoing mental health support, including therapy and counseling, to cope with PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Recognizing this need, local health organizations and community leaders work to establish accessible resources. Understanding that healing is not a linear process but a journey that requires sustained care and empathy. For the community as a whole, healing also involved a collective effort to restore a sense of safety and normalcy. This meant not only addressing the physical damage but also rebuilding trust and reaffirming the values of peace and community that had been so violently challenged. It was a commitment to remembering those lost, supporting those who survived, and working towards a future where such an event would never again darken their doors. A call for reflection, safety in sacred spaces. The devastating events in Michigan inevitably sparked a broader conversation about safety and security in places of worship. Churches, by their very nature, are designed to be open and welcoming, fostering an environment of inclusivity and trust. This inherent openness, however, presents unique challenges when considering security measures against potential threats. The balance between maintaining a welcoming atmosphere and implementing necessary precautions became a critical point of discussion. Communities across the nation began to reevaluate their own security protocols, exploring options ranging from increased surveillance and trained security personnel to emergency preparedness plans and active shooter drills. These discussions often involved difficult choices, as congregations grappled with how to protect their members without transforming their spiritual homes into fortresses, thus preserving the very essence of what makes them sacred spaces. The incident served as a stark reminder that violence can strike anywhere, even in the most unexpected and hallowed of places. It underscored the importance of community vigilance, open communication, and the willingness to engage in proactive measures. Reflecting on the implications of such a Michigan church shooting forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about societal vulnerabilities and the ongoing need for collective action to safeguard our communities. The Michigan church shooting stands as a somber reminder of the fragility of peace and the enduring strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable tragedy. It highlights the profound pain of loss, the arduous path to healing, and the unwavering power of a community united in solidarity. As we reflect on this devastating event, what steps do you believe are most crucial for communities to take in fostering both security and a continued sense of sanctuary in their places of worship?